Hello and welcome back. It has been a while since I brought out the camera. I think about 2 weeks now. So welcome back if you are new, if you're not new, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Alicia and this is the vegan remix. Today I'm going to be attempting to make some pretzel buns. I have had these before, but I've never made them myself, so I'm looking forward to trying them. I have made pretzels. Buns should be a little bit easier, I'm hoping, but we'll see how we go. The recipe that I'm following is by It Doesn't Taste Like Chicken, and I will link the recipe down below for you to follow as well. I think I may have touched on this briefly before, but there are two types of yeast. There's active dried yeast and there's instant active dried yeast. I'm going to be using instant today, which means I can put it straight in with my dry ingredients. If you are using dry active yeast, you need to activate it in water with a little bit of sugar first, which is what the recipe link down below does actually mention. Right, so to my bowl, I'm going to add 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant dried yeast, 3 tablespoons of sugar. This is to feed the yeast. Yeast requires food and oxygen to ferment. Then we want to add in 1 1/2 cups of room temperature water, or just over room temperature. We don't want to kill off the yeast before it has a chance to rise and activate, but we also want to warm it up so it speeds up that reaction. Give that there a little bit of a whisk, and that there you would leave for 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of melted butter and 3 3/4 cups of flour. I'm not going to add all of the flour all at once. We're going to start with 3 cups and we're going to add as needed from there. I am using high grade flour as opposed to all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour works just as well and just fine. If you want to see the difference between the two, I have made a video about it. We just made plain dinner rolls and compared the difference of the two. I will link that in the information card for you to check it out if you would like. But yeah, not a major difference. Both will work just fine. No problem with using all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to start with a wooden spoon and then proceed to using my hands. I almost forgot, you want to add in a teaspoon of salt too. Salt controls yeast. It does kill it, but it also controls it. So we don't want it over fermenting and over proving. It needs something in there to stop it from getting out of control. Once you get to a shaggy dough, kind of like this, you're going to want to tip it out onto a lightly floured bench. Now you want to knead it until you get a nice firm dough ball. You want it to be a little bit sticky, just not too sticky. I've kneaded my dough for about five-ish minutes, probably slightly longer, and then I can tell it's done because when I roll it around like this, I can get a nice smooth dough on the top there. I'm going to place this in a lightly oiled bowl, place a damp tea towel over it, and put it in one place for an hour. I just left mine on the bench and it needed a little longer than 45 minutes, so I left it a little bit longer, but it has doubled in size now, and when I pull it away, there is big air bubbles down the bottom there that you can see, which is perfect. So now I'm going to divide it into 12 even pieces. Before doing this, you're going to want to pre-line a tray, a baking tray. You're also going to want to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius to bake. The other thing you're going to want to do is get your baking soda bath ready. The baking soda bath is what gives the pretzels that taste and that beautiful dark color that we're after. And I'm going to divide these up. Now for the fun part, we're going to shape them. Right, to shape them, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can roll it round. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of pulling it down towards the end there with my thumb and pinky finger, and it kind of turns, and you roll it round and you get this nice little ball shape with a flat round on top. Now the other way you can do it, if you're struggling with that one a little bit, is you take all the edges and you pull them in, kind of like you're folding everything in, like so. Then you pinch all your ends together and you have something like this, and you pull down and around. So down and around, down and around, down and around. And then eventually you'll get the same kind of thing, and you just kind of roll that little bit there, and then it just looks like that on the bottom and nice and smooth on the top. You're going to want to do that for all of them and place them on your lined tray. Right, now for the baking soda bath. To get them out, you're going to want something with holes in it, like a spatula, something like this, or a spider, or even a serving spoon that has holes in the bottom like this, which is what I'm going to be trying with. To make the baking soda bath, you're going to want your cups of boiling water to the ratio that was mentioned before. So I'm going to be adding in 1/3 of a cup of baking soda. It's going to fizz up and do that. Add it in a little slower than I will. It does come up and then down. I'm going to have to clean my stove. Don't do what I did. Once your baking soda bath is boiling, you're going to take in the balls that you shaped earlier, probably 1 or 2 at a time. Drop them in. You want them to boil for 20 seconds, so. And then once done, take it out. It's gonna look a little bit pruny and a little gross on the top there, and place it back on a different baking tray. You wanna do that to all of them. This next part, you're gonna want a sharp knife or a bread blade, and you're just gonna score an X on the top of your pretzel buns. This is purely for aesthetic and looks. Once you've added your scores, if you don't want to add your scores, you can skip that step, but I highly recommend flaky sea salt. This is the brand I found in New Zealand. It is just sea salt flakes. Any kind of bread with sea salt flakes just adds a little bit extra something. I'm just topping all of them, and those right there can go in the oven and bake for 20 minutes. So I ended up doing 2 trays. I put one lot in on top and one lot in on the bottom. So the second lot have only just come out now because they need a little bit more color. It's got a tiny little cross on the top. That's because my knife wasn't that sharp and I didn't cut deep enough. I wish I'd cut a little bit deeper. Got the salt flakes on that top and nice brown kind of color. Nice and soft. You can hear a little bit of a crunch when I push on it. Very excited to try these and see how they've turned out. But first, let's look on the inside. Quite dense, but that's because we boiled them and they kind of tighten a little bit, so it's gonna be a little bit chewy. That there is inside. Still a little bit warm, but I let them cool down quite a bit. Then we've got a nice crunch on the outside. Now to try. They're good. And that salt. Don't skimp on the salt. I do think the bread is probably a little bit sweet. I'd probably add a little bit less sugar to it next time. Definitely getting that pretzel flavor. The pretzel flavor is only on the outside though. The dough in the middle is just kind of like a normal bread dough. A little bit dense, but not bad. Adds a different flavor. Imagine having these with a burger. And that is how I made homemade pretzel buns at home. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have liked watching this video. I hope you learned something new, and I do hope you try them, whether you make them yourselves or whether you find them in a store or something like that. Definitely recommend. I say it's worth the effort. But I also want to say a huge thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed. Please remember to hit that bell notification icon so you get notified when I upload, and that subscribe button. Also, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, peace out.
All I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the